Okay. We already made a video for this. But our microphones died in the middle of it. So we already watched the video and everything, and we're just gonna tell you what our thoughts were as we were going through it, because we don't want to redo the whole thing.
We're lazy.
Yeah. So, we have the lyrics in front of us, and we're gonna be right.
So when he said, okay, so he said, maybe you're out to find love, maybe you lost who you was. Maybe you're just like me and feel the need to stay in your rut, because if you leave it, you might feel like you're no longer you. It's so impressive the way the mind can play with the truth. He wants to stay in his rut because that's where he feels comfortable. He's talked about it before. He wants to keep his depression and his pain and his bad memories because that makes him who he is. When you think of NF, you think of him dealing with all these things, and if he suddenly doesn't have to deal with them anymore, then will people still think of him the same way? Will he even be the same person? And that's really hard to go through. I mean, I think everyone goes through something kind of like that. I know I did. It was in a very, very small degree. But it's hard to leave behind something that you feel is so tied to who you are that when you let go of it, it's like losing part of your essence.
But we said in the other video, it's like cutting out a cancerous spot. It's going to heal, like it's going to take time to heal, but afterwards you'll be healthier than you were before. You've got to do the hard thing and cut bad things out of your life, even if the transition time will be rough. Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to point out, in the chorus, he says, just in case my car goes off the highway, and then he says, I want you to know that when you're alone and you feel afraid, you're not the only person in the world that isn't okay. And then it says there's millions of us just like you. I thought that was funny because it's kind of like a double-sided thing to say. Sword. It's like a double-edged sword. So on the one hand, he's saying you can be comforted. You should feel comfort in the fact that you're not the only one in the world that's going through this, and you have people who are going through the same things as you, and they can relate to you and help you through this stuff. But also, snap out of it. Snap out of it. You're not the only person who's having these problems. You don't get that pass. Like, you can't say, oh, I don't have to, y'all can't tell me to stop because nobody understands me and nobody knows what I'm going through. Yes, people know what you're going through. There are millions of people in the world who are going through the same problems that you're dealing with. And you can't use your problems as an excuse. So, yeah, I think it's interesting that it could be interpreted either way.
Because people think they're so special. Like,
yeah.
No one knows what I'm going through.
Nobody knows the troubles I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where was it? Okay. Well, something that I have noticed about NF is that he is called him the postmodern Baird. Because he's taking the rubble of Western civilization and showing it to people, saying this is what people are feeling. They're not saying it, but they're feeling it. And this is it. The problems that I'm having and that I'm rapping about, a lot of people have them.
And it's because of the way our culture has taught us to think and taught us to live.
His mom died because of drugs, because she didn't have any way to fix it other than drugs. She didn't have anything else to live for, because that's our culture. No one knows what they're doing. No one knows why anything is the way it is. NF is showing that to people and showing them the way to get out. That's his whole work, is showing the search for truth, and I guess hope will be when you start to get a glimpse of what that will be like.
In the second verse, he talks about you feel the best when your life is hectic. If you feel the best when your life is hectic, you might be destined to stay defective. We were saying our culture says that you need to be constantly occupying your mind with something to keep it off of the state of your soul and your mind. So, like scrolling on social media or going to activities, hanging out with friends, whatever it is that keeps you from thinking about the state of your mind and the state of your soul, they encourage you to do that instead of, thinking and being self-aware and thinking deeply. So,
and a song that addresses that is "Silence a Stranger" by the Arcadian Wild.
Yeah, and also "Dopamine" by the Arcadian Wild, and you need to listen to both of those songs because they're great. Let's see what else.
Oh yeah, it's the rainy days that give us love for the sun. It's the lows in life that make you cherish the highs.
And then if it isn't, he says, "I guess I'll be fine believing a lie," or "I guess I'll be fine believing it does." Piper says that's like Puddleglum from Chronicles of Narnia. He says, I don't really believe in Narnia, but it's
better to believe that there is a Narnia out there, even if it's not true, than to accept the world as you see it.
And I said that's kind of also like McPhee in That He Is Strength, who he said that I don't really believe what you all are standing up for, but your lifestyle is clearly a better lifestyle than whatever the world is doing. So, and we were saying that is a sign of recognizing what is good and not necessarily believing what is true, but recognizing what is good, which gets you one step closer to the truth.
I think first you recognize beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Once you can recognize beauty, then that will lead to goodness, and then goodness will lead to truth.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the three of them.
Yep.
Whatever those are called. They have a special name.
Beauty, goodness, and truth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something.
So that's what.
I think that's it.
Yeah, that's all. Sorry that our microphones died.
Next is hope.
Yeah!